Let's talk about Stevie Wonder. Now, this is a strange, phenomenal situation. Clarence Paul, who was a writer, producer with us, he and I used to do duets together all over the country. And when I got the A&R job, since Clarence taught me a lot about the blues, I brought Clarence in to work with me at Motown. Plus, he could use the job at that time. This will give me a chance to pay back, see. Anyway, Clarence was there for a while. We got hits rolling out by Holland Dozier, Ivy Joe, Ashford, and no, not Ashford, they were there at the time. But other producers were coming out with some hit records. Clarence, it wasn't happening with him. He was doing a great job working with me, but as far as producing a hit on an artist, it wasn't happening. And I was saying, well, he was getting a little disheartened and I was feeling bad. And I said, okay, Clarence, we got to have a talk. In my mind, I was going to find a way of giving him a couple of months' salary and really letting him go. Now, the day of the meeting, he started to speak first. And I said, well, wait a minute, Clarence, there's something I got to tell you. And he said, no, but something I got to tell you, William R. I said, okay, tell me what you're talking about. Say what you got to say. Clarence said, and you know, I haven't had any hits over here and I haven't had an opportunity to do anything. Stop. You hit your mic. I'm sorry. He said, you know, I hadn't had a hit over here and I have not had an opportunity to work with none of the big acts because all the other producers got them locked up. But I found this artist I'd like to have a shot at. And I said, what artist? He said, this artist I found, I'd like to work with him. And I said to myself, oh, this is great. I give him an opportunity to work with the artist. If it doesn't work out, he knows I gave him a shot. I can let him go. Everything will work out great. I said, I tell you what, why don't you work with the artist? Bring him in and do a couple of songs. Let's see what happens. He said, oh, man, this is great. He said, but I got to tell you one thing. I said, what's that? He said, he's real young. I said, how young? We got a lot. He said, I mean, real young. I said, you mean as a kid? I said, oh, man. Okay, man, let's get it over with. Bring him on in. He said, one more thing, William R. I said, okay, you're pushing it, Clarence. What's this? He said, he's blind. He's what? He's blind. Let me get this straight. You talk about a young kid that's blind. You're going to break. I said, with all these stairs we got in this studio, and man, Barry going to have a fit. Something happened to that kid. I said, no, man. He said, wait, Ma, you said I could do it. I said, Clarence, here's the deal. Wherever I see that kid, I want to see you. Hand in hand, white on rice, never apart. I don't want to see nothing or hear nothing about anything happening to him unless you're standing right there. He said, okay, Waymar, I got this. I said, okay. He left. A few days later, Clarence comes back, and he has Stevie with him, and his mom and somebody else, his brother. And we're having a session going on in the studio. He said, Waymar, I got Stevie. I want you to hear him. I said, I don't have to hear him. I told you you can do it, so do it. He said, but you got to hear him. I said, okay, man, come on. He takes Stevie down in the studio. Benny Benjamin's on the drums. The guys are playing, they're working on a tune, kind of working it out. He takes Stevie over to the drummer. Benny gives him the drums. Stevie sits down. Right in on top, right on the tempo, right on the whole 9 yards. And he's doing to pick it up. Then Clarence takes him from the drums, takes him over to the to the piano player. And the piano player get up, Stevie sits down, feels around a little bit, and then right on that, playing the piano right inside the pocket, never stop. The groove is going on. All the guys is getting hyped up, and they're playing and everything. Stevie gets off the piano. Clarence takes Stevie over to the microphone. Stevie takes the harmonica out of his pocket, puts it up to his mouth. Now remember, this pocket, this groove is still going in the studio. Everybody's just right in there. And then he started saying, well, and then I started singing and playing and blowing his ass. I said, wow, everybody looked around. Clarence had this big grin on his face, took Steve Bell by the hand, took him out. All the producers immediately started thinking, what songs they going to give this kid? The rest is history.